First and foremost, I want to give all praises and all glory to the true and living power, which is Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rekah Kwadash. Yahweh is the true name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai is the true name of His only begotten Son, and there is no God beside them. And I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who definitely rule well, and honors and citations to the hopeful elect, the Wadati Yahbashim Shai, for blessing me and allowing me to do another lesson. In this lesson I want to get into, and I want to entitle this, faith is like a currency. Okay, having faith in the true and living power, which is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, which Yahweh is the true name of the Heavenly Father, and Yahweh Shai is the true name of His only begotten Son. And this lesson is based off of the book of James, chapter 2, verse 5. It says, "Hearken, my beloved brethren, hath not the Most High chosen the poor of this world, rich in faith, and heirs of the kingdom, which He hath promised to them that love Him." See that? So, so I get about to hit the road. So as we can see, the Lord chose those that is rich in faith. And here it is, we associate being rich with having an abundance of ultimately currency. Because currency is just means a system of money in general use in a particular country. Okay, as we can see here in synonyms, it says a legal tender. So if it's legal tender, it's an official use for transactions. It can be officially used for transactions. Which, as it says here, currency is a medium of exchange for goods and services. So it can be used as a transaction to obtain goods and services. So guess what? Faith ultimately plays its own part in that same concept. Because you can be rich in faith, just like you can be rich in your particular currency that you have. You can have an abundance of that medium to exchange for an abundance of goods and services that that you would desire. Because in general, it's money in the form of paper or coins, usually issued by a government and generally accepted at its face value as a method of payment. Now, when it comes down to being in this ministry, it does pay. It does pay. And it's over our heads to where it's a sense of we're not even worthy of the pays of salvation, pretty much. But we know the scriptures get into matter of fact, let me see some. Yeah, Khan, I was just getting into it. I was just reading on this one in the book of Ephesians chapter 2 verse 8, because it's not like we can do a plethora of works and then say to the Lord, well, now I have to get paid, as if the Lord owes us The Lord doesn't owe us shit. The scriptures speak about how all our righteousness is as filthy rags. But now here it is, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, because we're his family, because we're of his elect, that's how the Lord gets down. To where the Lord is gonna, because he said, Yahweh Shai, that's one of the last things he said. He said, behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me. A reward is like a pay. And in order to receive that pay, or to receive that, reward, which is pretty much, like it says here, let me go back to that. Like it says here, goods or services. The goods ultimately is going to be the kingdom, our salvation. And the services is going to be from these heathen nations that put us into slavery. They're going to have to go into slavery. And they're going to be building up our mansions. They're going to be giving us massages, fucking whatever, man. Whatever we desire. And guess what? The medium to obtain these goods and services is ultimately faith. So this Ephesians 2:8, for by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. So that's what I wanted to get. It is the gift of the Most High, not of works, lest any man should boast. See that? So we're not saved by how much work we doing, and now, the Lord owes. It's in the form of grace from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, being that he's a graceful, merciful power, still blessing us with motivation here to keep going on one hand, and on the other hand, giving us discipline through his fear. Because if you don't, like the Apostle Paul said, woe is me if I preach not the gospel. So if we don't teach what we know, like Yahweh Shai said, letting our light shine before men, you don't get a candle, or you don't get a lamp and put it under your bed, but you put it in the middle of the room so that all can see. So we have to do these works. Woe is us if we preach not the gospel. Okay? So that's discipline, and that's the fear of the Lord. And then, here it is on the other hand, like I just read, through the grace of the Lord, and through us showing forth that we love the Lord, and that we have faith, and that we want to be saved, here it is, the Lord's grace kicks in. And that accounts, all right, for the upcoming reward that we're going to receive, which is ultimately the goods in the form of salvation. So, as we can see, faith is almost like a currency to the Lord. You got to have it. And a lot of people, like it says here again, James 2:5, hearken, my beloved brethren, have not the Most High chosen the poor of this world? See, we may be poor in this world. And when we're poor in this world, that means you don't got it like that. You may desire goods and services, but it's not even a reality, because you don't. And the reality is, you don't have the currency to obtain those things. So what? You live within your means. You get what you can. But here it is. When it comes to faith, we got it like that. Meaning we believe that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai have to believe that Yahweh Shemashai is going to give us every needful thing in due season. You know, which I believe that's almost the lines of, if I worded it correctly. Con. Matthew 24:45. Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his Lord hath made ruler over his household to give them meat in due season? See, so the Lord will give us what we need in due season, man. Galatians 6:9. And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap, if we faint not. See that? So the Lord is going to give us, what we need in due season through our faith, and through us knowing, like King David said, give us food convenient for us. Don't make us too rich where we forget the Lord, and don't make us too poor to where we use the name of the Lord in vain. And then we out here stealing. And Jake felt bad, man. If you in your senses, you be like, yo, you don't want to steal again. Like, yo, I don't want to do this again, man. I got to do this one time, Lord. I'm not going to do it no more, just one time. But guess what? You may end up having to steal again. So now you just took the name of the Lord in vain. But the whole point is what? To have food convenient for us. Just enough to get by, pretty much. Maybe have a little something saved up for an emergency, and that's it. But besides that, we have faith that Yahweh Shemashai is going to get us through, man. And faith is, there's no gray areas with faith. You either have it or you don't, man. That's why a lesson I did before, I titled it, well, I want to tell, like, pretty much, I think faith is like a fork in the road. You either go one way or you go the other. Because if we find ourselves stressing and worrying, depressed, and things like that, about, how we gonna make it, guess what? That's not faith. Remember, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So faith is to believe you're gonna get what we hope for, and leaving it at that. So we either believe we're gonna get what we hope for, or you're gonna be stressing, being depressed, worrying, being aggravated. So I need that. Or you're just gonna say, the Lord's gonna bless me with that. Which is now just boils down to what? A matter of patience. The Lord got me, I just need to be patient. That's going one way, or the other way is, I don't know how I'm gonna make it, and this and that. Being stressed out, that takes away from faith, man. So we have to be rich in faith, meaning really, really, really solid in our belief that Yahweh Shemashai is going to help us, and then that Yahweh Shemashai exists. And that's where the works come in. Because faith without works is dead. So we show forth that we believe that the Lord exists by doing what he said. By being obedient, man. So being rich is like an actual currency that we have to have and carry around, in which we can use as a form of transactions within, ultimately, the community of the hopeful elect, which is the community of the Lord. So faith is a must, man. And you have brothers that are rich in faith. Okay? So, we can't stress over things that we can't control. That takes away energy of prayer. All right? We're not perfect. You may stress at the beginning, but that has to automatically convert over into faith immediately. Satan is going to try and keep trying to, throw that out there, but it immediately has to be converted over into faith. So, Lord, this was edifying. With that, I'm going to say shalom.